And heading over to Spain, we have Sergi Longueras.
What's up?
Hey,
Good
buddy.
afternoon.
How's it going?
Really good. Yeah, happy training and doing my thing. So yeah,
Yeah, good
really
start to
happy.
the good
How
start
about
to the
you
year.
guys?
We're good. We
Yeah.
embarrassing as we just spoke to you too. We both said to each other, when did we last speak to Sergi on the
I was going
podcast?
to say, it must have been years ago. I'm sure we went through the whole World Championship win and everything, and loads to catch up on. And
He was scrolling through, going, "Yeah, where is it? Where is it? Where is
we'll
it?"
find the video. We'll find the video.
Hang on. So, this is your first podcast, Sergi. Welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome
Really
to the
happy to
Shindig.
be here. I've been waiting for this day.
We-
No, because I think we talked about like a few months ago, and then it went like nothing ended up happening, and now we're here. So good.
Great to have you, man.
yeah, good things come to those who wait, is what they say.
Well, we've certainly got lots to talk about. We've been going through our little World Championship series for obviously the last year in Abu Dhabi, and I think no one will mind us rewinding a couple of years back to
we're
2019.
in control of the time.
It's still a World Championship series with Sergi.
Yeah, you're still a world champion. Just happens to be a few years ago now. So let's go back to 2019. You were actually there, Steve, weren't you?
I wasn't actually. I managed to go to the 2017 it was actually over my birthday. I think it was on my birthday that I watched the final of you and Jack and the drama that unfolded. And
Yes.
I think
Weird
it was,
final.
I don't know, watching trials in your bed on your birthday. It wasn't a bad present, to be honest. It was pretty dramatic and how that kicked off. But
Crazy.
yeah, just rewinding back to that moment, what were your thoughts? I mean, obviously, again, we spoke to Eloy at length about obviously the accident and how it was crazy for both of you to have that comeback. And what was your thought after the accident in the sense of getting back to trials? Did you even think that was going to be a possibility, or was it? I know it didn't.
It was really weird because after all the week being there in the hospital and everything happened, was like, what's happening? I don't understand. But after the first week was like super weird, like because Eloy was still in Italy, so I had to still check up about how he was and everything. And it was weird, but also I have a really strict routine here in my house. So after 1 week or two, I was like, okay, Eloy is okay. I can focus and just get back to my routine and go full gas. Because I really, at that year, in the European Championship, I was third. So that really gave me a lot of confidence to say, okay, I can be on the podium. So I want to work really hard because I know I can do it. And it was very hard because I came from the injury before in the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
So I was still in pain, and it was like I can push, but I have pain, and also all of the accident. It was a lot of mix of emotions, but I really wanted to make it happen. So it was like, okay, push for 3 more months and see what happens, and it worked out.
It sounded like you were mentally quite affected by it too, not just what happened to you, but obviously Eloy. And as you've just said, then you were like waiting to go back to kind of training, going like, he's going to make it, I can carry on.
Yeah, exactly. Because I saw everything, and it was really shocking for me because it's your friend. You see him like suffering because it was really, shocking because
traumatic. Yeah.
It's like we are not used to in the modern days that we live to see some things like that, and even less if it's your friend that you are sharing everyday experiences, and suddenly you see him in that position. It's crazy. So it really
must be amazing for you to see that full journey, as in you saw the initial accident, so to speak, and then
exactly.
Then you were there in Abu Dhabi. You saw Eloy number one, Like, what a story,
Crazy,
man.
crazy.
So incredible.
That's why I
Amazing to
was,
think you both did it, right?
Yeah.
Like, we wound Eloy up about it the first time.
Yeah.
We were like, oh, Sergi's come back from injury and done it, so now it's
It's
on
your
you.
turn.
And I felt like we kind of claimed a bit of his
Yeah.
fame because we felt like we may have given him some extra motivation there.
Did that kind of drive you more to achieve winning? Did that have any play in that kind of experience?
yeah, I think when things like this happens, it's like, okay, you are really shocked, but it like gives you perspective of the normal things we do in life. So yeah, it was like maybe it put some pressure down, and it was like, I'm alive, I can still do what I love. So it's like less important, like going to a world championship after that, than if you live normal life and then you go to the world championship.
Yeah.
So yeah, a little bit of driving, like,
Yeah, is it not that it was a positive thing, but it kind of driven you to get some positive, results?
It changed my mind. Like I remember being alone in the airport coming back and really feeling a lot of confidence. Like after that thing, it's like feeling more alive,
Yeah, for sure. You're much more grateful, I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so I guess since then, you've obviously mentioned a bit about dealing with pain. Just tell us a bit more about, I guess, what you've been dealing with. I know you had the injury to your knee, and there's obviously other problems you've been dealing with. Was that, like you said, you were dealing with that actually at the time that you won the world championship? And
yeah,
at which point did it become too much?
I started having real problems in my knee at 2016, and I have surgery there, and then, but I was always in pain, but I didn't found anyone that really know how to heal it or know what was really happening in my knee or in my body. So yeah, I had no choice that, okay, I have pain, but I want to continue my career, so I have to keep going. And the years went by, I was okay, but then at the end of 2018, I was like, okay, I have to keep checking up this because I'm really in pain. So doctors must know what's happening here, and they said I had to go through surgery again. So I did it. But after the surgery and all the rehab, it was the same pain. So nothing changed. And that's what I was talking about. I was like, okay, let me go full gas for the world championship and see what happens. But then I have to solve this because I cannot continue my career in all this pain and all this stiffness in my body, because every training was a lot of pain, and that's what I love, but I'm starting to hate it, because if every training is pain, it's not.
You want the pain from doing hard training, not pain from vice versa.
Exactly.
Like
your muscles that ache, but not that chronic type of injury. So what have you done since then?
Yeah, in the pandemic in 2020, I finally met a biomechanic that I was like super skeptical at this point, and like, okay, nobody knows anything that's happening to me. I was like, let's try. And it was really the first person that really was like listening to me and that seems to understand what's happening in my body. So I was like, okay, I have no choice. It's like, I will do what you say because I don't know anything
you
that's
put all
happening.
their faith in them at that point.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, he told me about everything about biomechanics. He's been a cyclist his whole life, and he's had a lot of pain too. He had an hernia, and he had to stop cycling, and he started studying and learning about the body and everything. And he told me that the big problem of cycling is the geometries that are not adapted to the body. So yeah, he told me that the majority of my problems came from the geometry of my bike, and and I have the luck to have an uncle that makes bikes.
Well, that's a really nice segue, I must say.
Yeah.
Naturally, Sergi, well
Yeah.
done. So
Yeah,
he'd already
like,
said you had to make. Basically, you at that point
yeah,
thought, well, maybe I should make my own bike.
exactly. It was like everything came together. Like it was success of things, you know,
Yeah,
like,
yeah, just
and
snowballed. Yeah,
yeah, and it was like, okay, I cannot continue that way. This guy that knows more than me knows what I have to do, and it's do a bike. I have an uncle that has a bike. I have to try it because there's no
Yeah.
So
other
how
choice.
did you know? This is what I'm interested in. How did you know what was the right geometry for you? How would you
Yeah,
go about
that's
that?
well. These guys is two guys. He's a biomechanic and it's a engineer, and they
And this
have
is, sorry, Sergi, this is Montaigne, is it? What's the name of their
Montane.
Montaigne?
Montane.
Montaigne.
Yeah,
Montenay. Okay.
Montaigne. Yeah, I thought I was going to butcher the
yeah.
pronunciation there.
They have already developed a system of a geometry system that makes a harmonic movement between the frame and the fork of the bike, and they adapt it to the bending of the body. So it's like a oscillatory bike, you know, like it moves with you and
Okay.
allows you to breathe with the movement. You know,
Right.
it's like a bike that follows your natural movement. You don't have to force your body to adapt to the
Yeah,
bike.
you're not
You know.
fighting against it, so to speak.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And thinking about it, I felt like that when I was trying to be in balance on my bike, doing like technical stuff. I felt like really trying to fight to keep on the bike, you know.
Right.
And now feels more like playing, like natural, you know.
Yeah. An
The
extension of your body kind of thing. Yeah.
the the thing that they really do to make the bike adapt to the body is they have developed a big vision to see when the body is in position of tension or when it's relaxed, you know. So they have their own system, but the key I think is to really adapt the reach, you know, the distance, the head
Yep.
position uh, in the right point where you turn the
To
body,
your
you know.
core as well. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, like if the reach is too high, you are turning here, so it's like rigid. When
Yeah.
the point of turning of the bike is down, that's why the reach has to be shorter. It's better for your body.
I
But
see.
it's
Yeah,
really
you're trying to find that center of gravity, really. That's why generally you watch kids on a trials bike and their balance is usually quite good because the
yeah.
center of gravity is. I
Sometimes you
see.
see kids like the bike is too big and
Way too big. Yeah.
Yeah.
their hip is too forward, so they are turning from
Yeah.
in front here.
hmm
It's like playing with this point of turning of the bike allows you to move better on the bike, you know.
Yeah.
And they know how to do the geometry, they know, but I don't really know
Yeah, of course.
how.
I was just wondering because obviously maybe you were the first trials rider that they had done that with.
I was going to think, yeah.
Exactly.
What was their
Did
background?
they get you
Was
to
it-
ride? Like, did they just watch you going, oh, I can see your body moving? Or
Yeah, exactly.
okay.
I brought the bike there, they watched me because at first it was really like it's not possible to make a trials bike adapted to the body because we have a lot of position, it's not only pedaling, you know. But yeah, they really watch all the positions, they try to figure out, and they could do it. So but I'm still developing.
Did you do all the positions?
Yeah, I mean, I picture you in this little, you know, in the movies when they put a suit on and they record it all.
Yeah.
Motion.
Can you show us an endo? Or I don't know, a static hook. I mean, this is because I think this was interesting when we spoke to Jack recently. Obviously, he's always been someone that's played around with the geometry of his bike, changing the different sizes, changing
Yeah.
handlebars, stems. So
yeah.
in his own way, he's probably tried to come up with what he thinks is the best geometry for him. But it is often the case that depending on what techniques are being used, different geometry of bikes obviously seem to assist with that,
Yeah.
right? So now static hooks have become much more commonplace. People do generally have this sort of negative bar angle, very long stems to get their weight forward on the bike. versus maybe, and that's generally I would imagine that's extending the reach of these bikes, right? But I don't know. It seems like they've actually become somewhat shorter as well because people are moving to kind of maybe more nimble geometry. But yeah, it'd be interesting to know what parts of the bike you found that were drastically different from what you were using, I guess, on the Comas when you won the World Championship.
Well, it's not that for the health of the body, it's not that important where the hands are. I mean, it's important, but I think I have the hands placed in the same position I was in the Comas.
Okay.
But at the beginning, I did the bike too short, but I'm realizing that it has to be longer. So it can be a long bike, but the importance is to do a short reach and long stem so the points on the wheels can be at the same place, and your feet and your hands can be in the same place, but only change the way the bike moves with the reach. You know what I mean?
Okay.
That's why I think that it's possible to do a really modern bike with all the techniques that it's possible to hook, it's possible to go to front. It don't have to be like an old bike with handlebar like this to be healthy, you know?
Right.
I mean, it's a right position for the body to be like with hands and feet on the ground, because trials you are put like this, not
exactly. I totally get it.
It's natural for the body, but the problem is this movement of the bike, you know, between
twists.
No, I get it.
I wonder if that has any. Now I'm thinking, like, does it have any obviously effect when you're riding carbon too? Because it's less forgiving. There's less of this kind of movement.
That's an interesting point.
I wonder if that is that worse for your body. Is that why Andre's always such an old man and broken?
Well, yeah. I mean, I must admit, when I had the clean, I remember it being quite stiff, and initially you're not used to maybe the stiffness.
You've never had a carbon, have you, Sergi? Or
I don't mean the bending of the frame. I mean the turning.
I know. I know what you mean, like the bending and the turning. But what I'm trying to say is that even though what you're saying, talking about your body with a carbon, it's your body takes more than the bike does.
Okay.
So I meant like...
Yeah, I didn't know if these guys had experimented with different materials.
With different materials is what we're saying. I wonder how that...
If you had your exact same bike as you have today in carbon fiber, would it be more or less forgiving? Or because I feel like it generally, the stiffer the bike is, like Matt was saying, it's almost as if your body may end up taking a little bit more of that kind of, I don't know, the flex and... Or it may just mean that you're more stable on the bike, but...
I mean, the engineers out there will tell me, I'm sure. The biomechanics.
But, yeah, maybe if it's stiffer, your body is... Yeah, it could be.
It's going to be taking more.
Yeah. All right, so going back to the steering, I think a lot of people would nag us to ask about the stem stacker that you, I think, either maybe Oracle created, and lots of people frowned upon, thinking it was maybe a long-term solution. So you
mean the extender that I use?
That's right.
The stem extender. I mean, talk us through that whole story.
Well, I've been developing the geometry through these past years. So yeah, every time I've done the reach shorter, so I had to put a longer stem. So my hands are at the same position.
But is it because there isn't a stem long enough right now for that?
Exactly.
Is there really not?
That's got to be. Otherwise, you would have just bought a new stem.
Right now, my stem is 190.
Oh my God!
What? 190? Yeah.
Yeah. Shit. And the longest is 165.
165. Wow! I didn't realize it was that dramatic.
I did not realize either, because I remember doing a 180 when I was like talk about steering. It's like holding a banner.
Yeah.
Look where you're bending your body. You're bending from the core.
Right, I see. Yeah.
Look at this learning. This is wow. There's so much more to
I'm going to go back to my bike and put a lump of wood in between the
work out where the pivots are.
That's what I think. It's like this happened to me, everything, all the injuries, maybe because I have to bring something to trials
Something new, yeah.
that makes it a healthier sport,
Yeah, maybe you have to wear, like, I don't know, put some sort of banner around your secret device that.
Yeah.
But it could be now. Makes me realise if there are people out there that are doing that for Sergi, who's to say the next riders, what me and you, we just go in, we speak to these people, we get our geo, and then we go, hey, Sergi's uncle, I've got my info now. Can you build my frame? Like going to Specsavers and get your prescription. But you go and get someone to
measure all your arms and legs.
A tailored suit, tailored bike. Like
exactly.
Well, it does exist.
I know. I meant for trials.
Yeah, exactly.
I was talking for trials. It's not there now.
No.
But
Yeah,
Sergi,
what exists now is a bike that fits to your sizes of the body, but it's not adapted to your movement, to your bending. So it's like a bit of a more forward concept than only a bike fitting bike.
Yeah. Are you still using that stem
we'll
adjustment?
Go back to that.
Yeah.
How long has it lasted? I guess that's the nervous question that we're all thinking about.
How long is going to be?
How long have you been using it?
Yeah.
And have you ever considered changing? Because I guess we're thinking about the bolts. The bolts just go all the way through the adjustment, right? So is it just really long bolts that are holding that thing in? Are you not worried a little bit about that potentially breaking?
No, it looks really strong when it's well
tightened. Yeah.
It's like a full piece.
Like I feel like I trust myself because I'm not that strong. But like looking at you, you're like, you're known as the gorilla. The big guy who's going to snap the bolt.
Yeah.
So,
Make sure you use your torque wrench on that one.
It feels strong because I also use a aluminium handlebar, and maybe I should be more worried of a carbon handlebar because I broke some and people is riding them, and for me it's not that trustable.
Yeah.
That is true. I've seen you break a couple, Steve.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard, Sergi. So I ended up busting my toe before the world champs in Abu Dhabi because my partner and I thought it was a good idea to go to the water park, and then got on the bike finally in the warm up to test things out after resting, and then my handlebar snapped in the warm up.
Really?
He just preloaded
for a side op. Yeah, didn't realize my strength.
You fell backwards. To the floor.
Yeah, and it ripped the brake out. Fortunately, Andre had a set of bars, and we managed to sort the brake out just in time. But
like a minute to spare, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was my first set of carbon bars to break. But to be honest, they must have been cracked, I think.
I mean, no offense, Steve, you're not built like. So that's what I was thinking. I could imagine you snapping a pair, Sergi, but it's like, well, if Steve can, then I think we've all got some hope.
I don't ride enough to break anything.
No, that's actually true nowadays. Well, spring is coming, and you'll be back. So what's the future of your bike now? Are you planning on trying something new soon, or
would you put this into production?
Yeah.
You think this new stem?
Yeah.
In terms of...
For me, it's like I'm still testing it, and I want to try a little bit longer bike to be sure what really works for trials, and then we will develop a bike that can be adjustable to make measurements. And I want to offer this service to trial riders if they are interested, so we can build a bike for them in their own geometry, and it gives you you can be calm because you know that you are riding a bike that is not hurting you. So for me, it's like more important this than to save 30 grams,
Yeah, for sure.
100%. Yeah. And especially if you're comfortable, the whole idea of your riding experience will be way more pleasurable.
Exactly.
You're going to enjoy
I think for most people that have been riding for a certain number of years, I think we've all maybe had a bike that we absolutely loved, where it was probably just because the geometry just fitted us slightly better, right? I mean, I know bikes haven't changed all that much in the last 10 years, but I know like an old Echo I used to have, and I used to absolutely love this bike. It felt like almost like you said, you move and you kind of move with the bike, and it feels much more natural.
Yeah.
And I think
In
that
the
was
end,
slightly different. Yeah, lower
it's the
BBs
feeling.
at that time.
It's the feeling that we all are looking for when we are training. You know, you have that day that you feel like you are one with the bike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you,
Yeah.
in every training, you seek that feeling. I think this bike gives you that feeling of natural movement and really bringing your natural riding outside. You know, you are not getting stiff. You are all getting loose. You know.
Right.
Yeah.
So it should be something you put something on, like an item of clothing or a shoe or whatever, and it's comfortable. Instead of getting on a bike going, oh man, it's going to take me a few months to get used to this.
Yeah, wearing size 13.
Yeah, suddenly like, well, the shoe's too big for me, but I'll just keep trying and we'll get there. Like,
and when you have a big shoe, for example, you maybe move it in a different way to adapt to the shoe, and then that is getting you stiff. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's not.
How has that impacted your injury, I guess, with the new geometry? So you obviously mentioned about all this pain with your knee. Has things continued to improve? Are you still doing rehab in the gym?
Yeah, it's improving, but it's really slow because it's like changing the whole position of my body, and it's really slow. But what it has allowed me is to have room to improve, you know, because before starting with this geometry, I was doing a lot of rehab, but everything was going away when I took the bike to training, and then I was getting stiff again, you know. It was like, now it's like I gonna start
Progressing
like
a little bit.
the rehab is really working, but it's really slow. But now I can ride trials without hurting, and then outside of trials, keep doing my rehab and keep improving. You know?
It seems like quite a long process then, really. You're still kind of going through that.
Yeah.
Really long, and it's
good to know it's going in the right direction.
Yes,
there, right?
positive.
Yeah. Exactly. It's really long, but I'm like, okay, now I know what I'm doing. Before I was like doing the same hours of rehab, and it was all for nothing, you know.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you're still up there though, right? Like in terms of, I mean, you were unfortunate in Abu Dhabi. I mean, you were still like up there in that top 10 competing for finals. It must be interesting now because the Spanish team is just growing and becoming incredible. Obviously, 2021 was mad where you guys ended up taking 5 of the 6 titles, and I guess just wanted to get your take on some of the young guys coming through with Danny Baron, Marty Vereda, Julian Sainz. Like these guys are even Danny Carrega. I probably again got his name. Kagera, sorry.
Kagera, right.
The junior world champion, and then he ended up making a World Cup final this year or last year, which was amazing. So they've given you some competition to to fight for the finals
from the home country too.
The level is crazy now, and to be up there, you have to really be training exactly for this, and that's the problem. I'm not training only for competition. I'm training to heal my body, so it's different. And I feel at some points I'm not doing anything, for example, to improve my my jump or my explosiveness. So I'm only working to release tension, and that is not really what you have to do to compete at the highest level. But yeah, these guys are training 100% for this, and they have an amazing talent. And I think trial has changed a lot, and they are really good at the new type of trials. You know, a lot of 26-inch techniques, pedal ups, and hooks, and all that.
Quite
and I'm
fast
not really
as well, right?
Yeah. So yeah, I have also to work on that, and while I'm working on my rehab. But yeah, I feel like now I take it more like slow, everything. Like I'm not worried about this year's world championship. I'm like in a long-term process, you know.
Yeah.
So I will keep training. I have the same
time on your bike and
of being world champion again, but I want to do it in the right way. You know, I've done it in the wrong way because I've missed my health, and that's not the right way to do it. So I want to do it the right way, but that takes a lot of time. So yeah,
it sounds like a very good approach. Really healthy. You're really focusing on yourself. And I know winning is important to a lot of people, and that's great. But if you aren't having fun on your bike, if all you're doing is your knee is hurting, then what's the even point in competing. I really like your attitude towards it, Sergi. It seems like really nice and calculated, that so to speak, rather than
tough times makes you learn some things.
Yeah, and all the best things come to those who wait. It's why you waited for 56 episodes to come on the podcast.
I was going to say,
Exactly.
do you get an opportunity to train with any of the other 26-inch Spanish riders? Because I'm not exactly sure where everyone is located, but I know you and Eloy get to ride a lot together.
I live pretty close to Martí Baireda.
Yeah.
And he comes pretty often to Orius. And then
he's
Danny
just a little
Baró,
bit more north of you, right? Martin?
He's from Catalonia.
Yeah.
And Danny Barón and all the other guys are from Spain, and they are like 3, 4, 5 hours away.
Right.
So I only train with them once or twice per year outside competitions.
Right.
I
was going to say, do you guys ever get together? Like you try and do like
that's what I was going to say.
A team? Because I know a lot of the other national teams have quite a close-knit group. I know the Spanish team,
they'll have regular events that they train together, and so
you all get together for the World Championships, right? Like you all come together as a team. And
in next week we have a concentration. I don't know if it's called like that.
Yeah, like a camp. I know what you mean though, but yeah. There's an event.
Camp, yeah.
There's an event. Yeah.
We have a camp of the National Federation, and we all go to train in a trials park in Spain, in Valencia. And we do it once a year. We did last year, and it was really cool because we do performance tests, and we can compare the statistics from
I think I saw some videos. So in the gym as well, right? In terms of reactions and
so next week we will do it, and it's cool that the federation takes the time and money to take us together and do these things because
it's
great.
Really
it does seem like your federation club and group they do look after that side of the sport. We've got some way to go yet, but we'll get there. But
that's good.
I was talking to Chai about the schools and everything here in the UK.
He wants to be a coach. Believe it or not.
He would be a fantastic coach. Thanks. Hi, Chai. By the way, I know he's listening.
I feel like he'll be like the Mr. Miyagi of the trials world.
Well, this is it. I mean, and they've got a club. He is, and he represents the sport in a very good way, and he's been sort of well experienced. But anyway, this is your podcast, not his. So
we'll forget about Chai for a minute.
How sort of often are you training then on your bike, Sergi?
I'm training like between 4 or 5 days every afternoon, but I'm not training 2 hours per day. I mean, I do 1 hour, 1.5, because I'm doing a lot of gym and physical training. I spend half of my morning training from 8 to 11.5 doing physical training. Then I do trials on the afternoon and mobility training on the afternoon.
So you're having more time off your bike in terms of like rehab and recovery than on the actual bike.
Yeah, but now it's easy for me to do that because when I get on the bike, I feel I need the other training, so I enjoy more now the other training that I know that is healing me than training.
It's always nice to know where you're getting the progression, right? It's the same when you ride your bike and you feel like you're progressing a lot. That motivates you. But if there are other things
want to go out and ride, just like
exactly. Yeah. So are you still riding trials sort of full time then in the sense of your overall training program, or are you working alongside?
I'm still studying mechanical engineering.
Okay.
And I'm starting this project with my uncle, with his brand. So I'm there working like 4 or 5 hours a day on getting the company, starting the company.
Got it. That's cool.
And nice. Obviously, that's what I'm saying. You've got other things that you're working towards that isn't just kind of putting pressure on you, so to speak.
Yeah, because it was really hard for me these past years where I didn't do that. So I didn't have something else apart of trials. and to have an injury, to be getting all the rehab, but not getting results, but only depending on trials, it was really hard. So
You
I had to do something. I knew I had to do something else, but I don't want it to be something that I didn't like.
Yeah.
So it was perfect because I'm really motivated to help my uncle and my family with all this company, and I think we can do a lot of things because it's not only from trials. He makes mountain bikes, he makes tandems, he helps disabled people doing bikes for them and everything. So we can do a lot of things, and with all the things that I'm learning from the mechanical engineering and from trials and all my injuries and everything, I think I can help a lot.
And there's biomechanics stuff that you're meeting too, right? You must be learning from them.
Yeah, now I have a really good team. We only need time to build everything, put everything together, and I think it will work out really well.
Sounds really exciting, man. Like I want to go for a session. Like, cool, we'll put this motion suit on you. We'll measure you here. Let's watch. It feels like it's a tailored,
very futuristic.
Yeah, it's really futuristic, like a tailored bicycle.
Yeah, it'd be great.
It's really cool.
Yeah,
and I can be creative because I'm designing all the logos and all the bike designs and everything, and I really like that. So
just to remind us the name of your uncle's company, so we don't butcher the pronunciation of that one as well.
Camajo.
Yeah. Oh, wow, I was really not going to say it like that.
Yeah, I wasn't either. That's why we just like, and then neither of us repeated it right away. We're like,
what's going to be funny is that there's going to be people from all over the world, I reckon, where they see the name and they've never actually heard it pronounced. I think
we'll have another name on another country.
Yeah, exactly, completely different name, and you'll be like, oh, I ride the Mako or.
Right, and also now it'll be having people sliding in those DMs like, bro, let me know when I can come for my fitting.
Yeah.
Like, there will be people listening right now who's like, I want exactly that service. Yeah. Like, can you imagine? Just, I had no idea. I just thought you were just like, I'm just going to make my own for the sake of it. But the story behind it is really fascinating, man. Really fascinating.
It's cool.
I think we need time and we need people to really understand what's behind this, but it's a lot of work,
Well, I think you get someone else also kind of set up and appreciating the benefits that can make for them, right? You're one person at the moment, kind of going through that experience. I think the more people that get to try it and see the benefits, it becomes like I say, a snowball of more people moving to that type of setup.
And I think it will help also when if you see me doing a process that I say, oh, it's really good for you, but then you don't see me getting results, it's like, but when I start getting results, I think people will really start to be interested in seeing what's behind.
There's the pressure.
Yeah. No, exactly.
Well, I'm really good at putting pressure on myself. So.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Some of us work better like that. I've realized that I do.
So one of the other things I was going to say to you, Sergi, was when you were thinking about other things that you can maybe do with your time, you didn't ever think about becoming maybe a YouTube star? Because I wanted to talk about maybe some of your few videos that have gone viral, right? So
man.
I was looking on Instagram. So you've currently got like 80,000 followers on Instagram, which is pretty significant.
Well, now I did the Barcelona video again and went viral again.
Yeah, we saw that one. I was like, yes.
And you preempted it, didn't you? You said, "Oh, will it go viral again?" And it did.
Yeah. And now I gain like 10,000 followers more, so I'm at 90,000, I think.
Oh, 90,000 now. Amazing.
Yeah.
That's for trials in terms of pages. That is exceptional. Like that is in trials. That's really good numbers.
Oh yeah, it was millions of views on that one Barcelona clip across the water.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So did you did people reach out after that?
Yeah, a lot of companies wanted to share it, but it's really, really hard to monetize only one video that goes viral.
Yeah,
and Instagram's not really set up for that either, right?
You can share rights with a TV company that sells, with a video company that sells to the TV companies, and you get like 40% or 60.
Yeah, they take 40 and usually take 60. I know exactly the pro. It's ridiculous.
I made some money, but it's like super low money. So.
Yeah, I think Andre's had a couple like that as
Yeah,
well, right?
exactly that. It's the same because they message us like, "Oh, please submit this video," and then you read through it, you're like, "I'm signing off this. I'm just giving them the rights to this video." You know, and for all I know, they make money from it and didn't tell me.
Yeah,
and then you wouldn't know.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's not what you were doing it for, Sergi. And I'm so glad that it got such traction because you know the sport is it's so unique.
I mean,
and
I've really tried to. I at the first years of my career when I started doing good results and everything, I really tried to do a lot of content and really try to be more known and try to live from that. But also with the injury, it was really hard because if I have an injury, I have to be training specific, see what happens, it's like it consumes a lot of energy and time that if you want to go film somewhere, then train. If your body hurts, it's
well, yeah, you're focusing on actually being your body functioning to make content rather than because once you're injured, you can't focus on the content. You're focusing on getting better.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm focused on getting my body to function at the peak level of athleticism, like being strong, but also being really endurable, being flexible. But I can only be like this if I'm healthy, and that's what I'm working on.
100%, man. Yeah, 100%. I mean, you couldn't be more.
Because I think it's not on for me. My motivation, it's not only winning. It's like being my best version. So I've only had the mentality of really being a really competitive person, but not only for competitions, because it's for me, I want to be strong. I want to be able to do everything that my body can do. If I have the potential, why not?
No, I think it's absolutely right. People who want to win, it's like, well, you might want to win, but actually, will your body allow it? Is the next.
I already won and I was fucked. My body was super bad. So there's no point in winning if you are hurt, if your body's hurting. So
yeah, right. Really I know on the surface, you're like, cool, I've got a colored jersey, but my body is broken and now I can't, and it really puts it in perspective. And I think,
it's cool.
We all forget that is the most important thing of it.
And for me, it was really clear.
Yeah, it's really cool. I was just thinking we're probably running out of time.
We're getting there pretty much, aren't we? Now it's all pretty good.
I was going to say, well, given we never met, we thought we'd interviewed you before, and we never did. I'd love to hear about maybe your shindig story. Maybe you haven't had any for quite a long time, given you've been spending more time in the gym. But have you got like a worse shindig that you wanted to share?
Well, yeah, I've had a lot of shindig.
That's what we like to hear.
Now it's been a long time since my last one because when you start trials, you get super bad shindig.
Yeah.
But sometimes it happens. And one time I wanted to go to an edge, and my wheel went here, so I slept, and my shin I went directly to the edge of the concrete.
Ow.
Oh, it was concrete.
Yeah, that's even worse.
Sharp concrete.
And I saw all the blood like going like this, like
spitting.
Pressure.
Yeah, right.
Oh wow.
Wow.
So
I don't think I've ever seen a squirting shindig.
Spraying out. Like...
it was terrible. And then I had the European Championship the next week, and I had to go with the how do you say that? You wrap the leg?
Yeah, you wrapped the bandage around or taped it up or whatever, and
it was I had to put stitches, and it was terrible.
Wow. Well, just hopefully by the time this is out now, the first ever shindig first aid kits are here. So basically, if anyone actually got a shindig, it would fix it till you got to hospital.
To a degree, yeah.
It would sort you out for the day, but it's one of those
Are you putting a needle and thread in there as well?
Thought about it, but they're very, very good butterfly stitches were added in there. What's one of your favourite places to ride, Sergi? Where's your favourite spot?
I think it's Maranges. Maybe you don't know.
I don't.
It's in the Pyrenees here in Catalonia. Okay. And maybe for some posts we have done, we go in the summer with our bands and we put or mattresses there, so we sleep there. It's like a mountain refugee. Like,
okay, I
Oh,
must
wow.
look that up. No, maybe we've seen videos and I didn't realize.
yeah, I'm sure you've seen, but it's hard to recognize. But it's like paradise because it's really similar to one place that Andre shares photos here in UK. It's like grass ground and rock.
Oh, you're thinking of
the
like Dartmoor.
Dartmour stuff. Yeah, I know exactly what
So
style.
it's not only like a quarry that you have a lot of rocks. It's like you can do pedal ups. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
different.
Yeah.
It's not flat. You have
Because a
uphill,
lot of
downhill.
rocky terrain can, like you say, you lose some of the run-ups. I used to hate going to ride rocks because it was
exactly.
fingers on the brakes constantly, and you'd lose some of those pedal ups.
arm pump, and you wouldn't get to do what any bike does, which is roll.
Yeah.
That's how
Especially on a 20-inch.
Yeah. So I think that's my favorite place to ride.
I
For
must.
sure.
I must check that out. I
That's
know.
cool.
Dre will explain it to me as soon as I see him tomorrow. He'll go,
Yeah,
oh yeah,
maybe-
it's right here. So
Next time you come, we have to go there and show you.
Definitely.
yeah, I think there's actually a group going in April again. Mind Control and a couple of guys just come back.
Yeah.
But we'll certainly keep in touch and let you know as soon as we will
You
be
come in
going.
summer, we can go. It's like 3 hours from my house. It's a bit far, but
Right,
maybe
if it's the best place you've ever ridden,
I was going to say,
then-
yeah, 3 hours doesn't seem
what-
that bad for a little bit of a journey, and especially in Spain. I'm sure it'll be much more beautiful than this little island over here. So,
sounds incredible. Yeah.
yeah,
it's high mountain, so it's really beautiful also. So.
no man.
One question I forgot to ask, Sergi, with the bikes, are you also looking at kind of 20-inch style bikes in terms of customizing those as well? Yeah, was that ever a discussion in terms of, oh no, actually a 20-inch bike may be better for you, but I imagine you can
No.
design it in the same way that it moves with your body.
Yeah, exactly. I always wanted to go with 26, but we know that the same system can be applied to 20.
Yeah.
So yeah, we will go.
There you go, for all the 20-inch listeners out there.
Eloy might have the first one. Who knows? It'll be another test dummy there, you know.
Yeah. I hope we can get him to the team and see. But we are already doing two 20 inches with Camajo because they are for my uncle's kids. So you will be able to see.
Cool.
Really soon.
You heard it here first. There will be some 20-inch
Camajo,
ones.
yeah.
Oh man,
We'll keep working on the pronunciation.
this is it. We just have its
Camajo.
own recording. Camacho.
Camajo, yeah.
Camajo. I'll have to separate it
There you
into. We're completely butchering what is probably going to be the next best exciting bike brand in trials. But Sergi, thank you so much for coming on and chatting with us
again
today.
Or not.
Again or not. We will.
Thanks for having me.
No, we'll definitely do this again for sure. Now, I thought this was
Sure,
the second one, and give us a chance to do that. And hopefully,
We'll have a lot of things to talk about.
Yeah,
so,
mate, we can chat all night, and I hope we can grab at the next comp at some point. We'll grab some beers as well and hang out again.
Sure.
I think
Yeah,
we'll
man.
love that. And
Good to see you again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's been a pleasure.
Of course. For me too.
Yeah, thanks very much. I've been Matt Pengelly.
I've been Steve Rogers.
We've been the Shindig Podcast. Sergi, how do we find you on all of your Instagrams? What's your tag?
Sergi.Longueras, and you can find me.
Cool.
everywhere.
And you can also check in the description here. We'll have all the links to your socials. Make sure you go and follow Sergi. Let's get him to 100,000.
Yeah.
100,000. It's only 10 more to go.
Well, the gap over water.
Well, that's all it is. So, again, thank you very much. Thanks, listeners. Make sure you go and check out our website and all that jazz, and we'll hear you all very soon. So, Sergi, thanks very much, mate. Take care. Bye.
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 See you.
You